I want to do a coastal 4th of July tier tray full of Dollar Tree DIYs and things that are going to look really festive and fun for coastal, but also patriotic.
But I always like to do a cute little floral arrangement, and these little metal buckets from the Dollar Tree are always perfect. This one is just looks like a flag, right? But I kind of want to give it that coastal farmhouse vibe. So I am just lightly distressing all over the little metal bucket with a little ivory acrylic paint and just using a chunky brush, wiping off any excess. I don't want to like cover up like the pattern of the flag on there. I just want it to look a little bit rustic. And I kind of thought one of these wired jute cords would make like a better handle than what was on there before. It was like a blue ribbon. And I thought this would work perfectly because this already has like the wire inside the jute. It's going to kind of make it look a little bit coastal. So this is just a quick, easy DIY for your tier tray. We're going to do a total of 3 patriotic tier trays today to get you inspired for your 4th of July tier tray. 4th of July tier trays, I've been doing them for a couple of years. I am a huge fan of them. I know some people are just starting to do them, and I have tons of tier tray videos on my channel. I've got a whole playlist, so you'll have to check them out. I've got lots of great ideas. Now, that green foam that you saw there from the Dollar Tree fits perfectly in these little metal buckets. You just push it in there, but I don't want you to be able to see like that green foam. So we're just going to cover the top of it with some Dollar Tree Spanish moss. That's going to look coastal and fun, and it's going to cover it up. Now, I didn't want to do like coastal tropical, but I wanted to look coastal. At first, I was going to do like an ivory flower, but it just didn't seem like it was going to be my thing. So I thought succulents would be fun because it's going to be kind of coastal, right? Kind of unexpected. So I'm just going to use 3 of these little succulents from the Dollar Tree. I kind of like just picked 3 different colors to give a little bit of variety. And I think that green one actually came out of a pot. Sometimes they're in pots, sometimes they're stems. But I'm just pushing all 3 of the succulents down inside the flag. And I love how that turned out because I think it definitely looks like something that you would see around here with the succulents. Okay, next DIY. I love these signs from the Dollar Tree because they're so easy to remake. They have like the wood background with a little sign on top. And I am just going to cover that up. It can be a little challenging to cover the writing on that sign up top. So that's why I'm using chalk paint and kind of wanted to go with like more of a warm color. And so that's why I picked cashew. It's kind of like the color of sand almost, right? And I am just going to paint that top sign. And I thought we could do a quick, easy little tier tray sign with some window decals from the Dollar Tree. Now, even with chalk paint, I found that you could still see the writing through there with one coat. So it's definitely going to require 2. I'm also going to rough it up a little bit with a little sanding sponge once I get it painted. Because again, we're going for that rustic coastal farmhouse vibe, right? And check out this cute little decal. I think that is going to be perfect. It's kind of go with the color scheme that I have, and I think it's going to fit perfectly on this sign if I were to stand it straight up. So I just do a thin layer of Mod Podge on my sign, peel off the window cling, and just lay it right on top. The colors are kind of perfect for what I'm going today. It says Land of the Free because of the brave, and I get it on there, smooth it out, and just give that a quick dry. You guys know I love making things with window clings, but small signs, it is perfect because you don't have to get your Cricut out. You don't have to print anything out. You can kind of find the vibe you're going for and make it work. So as you saw, I just Mod Podged once more on top to make sure that it stays down. Then I wanted, a little bit of a coastal touch. I love to use starfish for 4th of July because, of course, they're stars. So it's automatically going to give us that coastal feel. I get these little ones like this on Amazon, and these are available in my shop below as well. Sometimes they're all tiny when they come in, and sometimes they have like a variety of sizes. I chose like two of the medium ones, and I thought we would just kind of hot glue one in each corner on opposite corners, kind of like that, just securing those on there with a little dot of hot glue. And the color goes perfectly with like the sign, so it kind of blends in. So I thought if I just use a tiny brush and some white acrylic, I can make them stand out a little bit. And I also just distressed the whole thing with some of that white as well, or the ivory, just to kind of, give it that coastal farmhouse vibe. Otherwise, I thought that, the little starfish were just going to fade in. You weren't going to be able to see them. And I always like to distress over the window decals because it's going to kind of make it look more like a hand painted sign in the end and kind of take away some of that glossiness, anything that's left over. And the Mod Podge I use is always like matte too, because that helps keep the shine down. Okay, next DIY, I'm going to use a wood house from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. One of those little spring bags that I think looks like seagrass, right? And I thought we would just cover the house, make like a little patriotic seagrass house, if you will. So I kind of had this idea in my mind, didn't know if it would really work, but I love how it turned out. So I just cut half the bag off, and it gave me a great sheet of seagrass. I just lay the house right on top and then just use an ink pen to sketch out exactly where I need to go in and cut. Now, I think it's going to be fine with like just the raw wood behind the seagrass, like that. And so basically it's just a matter of attaching that. And then I also want to decorate that with the starfish. We're going to use a Dollar Tree Shore Living starfish. Now, I thought I want stripes, and this just happens to have the rose of the purse, and I am just using my red paint pen. Super easy way just to give it some red stripes. I am just painting every other row of the seagrass red. We're going to leave it like red and like tan like that, and I think that's going to look super patriotic, but also a little bit coastal, right? So I'm just going to use hot glue to attach that. I don't think you're really going to be able to see that through it because it's such a thick material. And just smooth that down. And I wanted to tell you guys, keep checking your stores for Shore Living. I just left a Dollar Tree, a small Dollar Tree that was out of everything Shore Living the last time I was there, and I found a ton of starfish, sand dollars, tablecloths, signs, all kinds of stuff. Like, I was shocked, honestly. And I never think I have enough starfish and sand dollars, and I use them year round. So I made sure to stock up on some more of these. Love them. They're plastic, but they look really cool because they have a great texture on there. And I just attached it to the front of the house with a little bit of hot glue. And we have a little patriotic house furniture tray. Isn't that simple yet cute? I love that. Okay, the next item we're going to use for the tier tray is one of these little anchors from the Shore Living line. Mine happen to be white. They do come in different colors. They come in like navy and red and stuff like that. And I really wanted mine to be like blue or navy. This is kind of almost like a royal blue color of acrylic paint, and I'm just gonna paint all over. As you can see, even though like it's like Dollar Tree, it's got that like great wood texture that makes it look like it's made out of real wood, even though like it totally isn't. And I just use a brush to make it blue because that way I can kind of get down in between all of the grooves on that texture, right? Now, I usually like my anchors to have some kind of a rope or something, and I'm actually going to use one of these little wood bead garlands. I picked that up at Target Dollar Spot. It is a tiered tray starter kit, but they have something very similar this year at Dollar Tree as well that would work really well, or you could kind of make your own with some of the Dollar Tree wood beads. I thought that would be fun to kind of string that along the top. It's got a little star on the end. That's white. That's going to be a nice contrast, but I think it looks a little bit coastal, right? So I just tie that around like the hanger so it'll kind of like just dangle down in front of the anchor. And I did pick a Target Dollar Spot tier tray kit up last year, so I haven't seen any 4th of July tier tray kits yet at Dollar Tree. So I'm curious what they're going to have this year. I love those tier tray starter kits because they're always a great deal. Now, I do want it to stand up because I don't really have anything to lean it on my tier tray. So I'm just going to make a quick, easy little stand with some of those Dollar Tree like little Jenga blocks. I glue 3 of them together, kind of just to make a little base, just enough to make it stand up, but I don't want it to be like where it'll tip over. So that is a cute little coastal anchor, if you will. Now to continue on with this tier tray starter kit, this is just like stacked books and it's super easy. Like I think it was kind of meant to be like more rustic, and I kind of want to make it rustic, but I also want to make it coastal. So you could always use one of those from the Dollar Tree if you can't find one of these, or there's so many book stack options nowadays, and you can kind of paint it and stain it like this as well. I'm going to use another one of the Dollar Tree window decals. They're so cute. And I thought these 3 little mini signs were going to be a great time saver because I can just trim these down into 3 little decals, and that will make 3 book covers. They're kind of shaped just perfectly to be book covers. And they say bright stars, bold stripes, brave hearts. The colors are perfect for what I'm going with today. And so it's just a matter of attaching those to my wood book stack. I always love a wood book stack on a tier tray. And this one is going to be just the right size. So I do a thin layer of Mod Podge and just peel off my decals and lay them right on there. And as you can see, there's also like little stars on the sides of the book. So super cute. And then once you get them on there, it's always a good idea to Mod Podge over the top of them as well. But you might need to give them a dry first so it doesn't kind of move around too much. Now to make them look like a tied book stack, I'm going to use some Dollar Tree twine, and I'm just going to wrap that around a couple of times and tie that off like it's a stack of books all tied together. Super easy. And then, of course, I want a little coastal touch. I'm going to use one of these little plastic starfish. I get these on Amazon as well. They're molded. They're plastic, kind of like the ones from Dollar Tree, but they're a lot smaller. And I wanted mine to be red. So they're white, these, and I just paint mine red with some bright red acrylic paint. I also buy these, you'll see in my Amazon shop, in like a teal color. I think they're so cute and they're so easy to craft with. But they also have like the starfish clothespins and stuff like that this year at Dollar Tree. You can always use something like that too, or some of the little grow animals. I think they might be a starfish in those as well. That might be pretty equivalent from the Dollar Tree. And that is how it turned out. Towards the end of this first tier tray, you'll see how I put everything together. But remember, we've got 3 tier trays today. I want you guys to have lots of patriotic inspiration. Okay, this was the last piece that was in that tier tray starter kit, and it's just a small sign with just a wood stained star on there. And I thought I would use another one of those little plastic molded starfish just on top to give that coastal touch. And no direction really fit like the way that was going. So I just glue it on there. And then I wanted to have a blue touch to it. It seemed a little plain for my tier tray. So I'm just using this pretty royal blue color, and I am just carefully painting the top part of this, that blue color. So we'll have like the blue, the white, and the different like stains of wood. And I think that looks really cute. It was so easy to put together. Now, this is from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. These are those little door pillows, and this is the starfish one. I thought this would be perfect for a tier tray because they're always fun to use on tier trays, and I never hang these on doors, so I really have no other use for them besides tier trays. So I just cut the little hanger off and the tags, and it leaves me with the cutest little starfish pillow, which is just the right size for a tier tray, and the colors are perfect for the 4th of July. Now, this is from the Shore Living line as well. This is a garden stake with like an oar, an arrow, a little life buoy on there, but it's just a matter of taking the stake off the back. Don't know if I saw these this year. They seem to have come out with a lot of new yard stakes with the Shore Living line this year, but I thought this would just be a fun item to attach to the top of my tier tray. And the colors are kind of just perfect, right? We've got our red, white, and blue. So it's just a matter of finding a way to kind of tie this on. And I'm just going to do that by putting some Dollar Tree twine on the back, hot gluing that on. I'm trying to think what would be cute. The ones this year that I saw that might be really cute, they have like a navy and white sailboat. I think that would look really good too at the top of a tier tray. Now, these are also from the Dollar Tree. Oh no, Dollar Spot at Target, but they have very similar ones at Dollar Tree. These have like kind of a prettier wood finish on them, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to kind of cover that up anyway. I got this great blue star fabric at the Dollar Tree that looks just like flag stars. So I'm just going to lay my little chunky wood star on top and use an ink pen to sketch that out. And we can have a cute little star for our tier tray. The colors are perfect and I love this fabric. It's so cute. I always have to look at the fabric whenever I see it at Dollar Tree because you can find some real gems like this one. But it's kind of going with my, more traditional color, red, white, and blue. I'm not doing the turquoise on this one. And I'm just going to attach it with a rather thick layer of Mod Podge since it is fabric all over the front of the wood star. And this wood star, being from Target Dollar Spot, you could always use the ones from Dollar Tree, pretty much exactly the same size. So I'm just cleaning up any excess glue that may have eased out. And then you're going to want to trim it up a little bit too if it's not cut perfectly. But the other one I thought I would just leave wood, but I did want it to have a coastal touch. And so I'm going to use one of these little fairy garden crabs from the Dollar Tree and just glue that on one of the stars just for fun. A little red hermit crab kind of hanging out on the star. And I think that's going to look cute. Now, this is a sign that I got like half price at Goodwill. So it was like 50 cents, but you can use whatever you've got. I always get these signs like on clearance at Target Dollar Spot. The real small ones like this, I really love that size. And so I'm just going to cover up whatever was on there. It was like a bear with some ivory acrylic and maybe a couple coats so that you can't see through there anymore. I needed like another 4th of July sign for this tier tray, something small. And we're going to Mod Podge on another window cling. This one is square and so is this one that says, I love USA. Super patriotic. The colors are perfect. And it looks great on that ivory background like that. So I just smooth it on, go over it with another coat of Mod Podge, dry it, and give it a light distress with a little bit of ivory. Maybe not that much. You have to be careful when you're wiping off any excess though, because you can accidentally wipe off some of your Mod Podge. But this is how it looks so far, but I thought we can make it look a little bit coastal too. This is also from the Shore Living line. This is the little red lobster. He's so cute. He's got like little pincers, and I'm going to glue him right on top, just kind of like overhanging the side of our sign. And then I'm going to use one of these little Dollar Tree American flag cake toppers. They're like on toothpicks. And look, it's just his size. And I thought his pincers would be perfect to hold an American flag. It's totally going to give that coastal vibe. So I just trim my toothpick up a little and a little dot of hot glue to secure that inside his little pincers, and we have a little patriotic lobster now. I love little touches like this on a tier tray because tier trays are so cute. People like to really study them, and when they see a little fun detail like that, it always makes them smile. Now, this is from Dollar Tree. It's actually from like the automotive department. And that's right, it is just an air freshener for your car. But it's a really cute little American flag. And I thought, well, that would be a cute decoration. So I have another sign. I have no idea. I think this was a Target dollar spot sign that I DIY'd before because it looks like it's already painted, has a little glue on it. But that's okay. We can make it something again. I like to try to recycle my signs if I'm not going to use them again, especially this little tiny size like this because they're just perfect. They'll fit pretty much wherever on a tier tray. And so I just painted mine ivory and then going over it with a coat of matte Mod Podge. I decided to go a little bit thicker because this is kind of like a cardboard thickness, this air freshener. And win-win, it'll also act as an air freshener, right? And make my room smell good. So I just glued that straight onto the sign. It was almost a perfect size to fit on here. And then, I have to make it look a little bit coastal, right? So I go in with a little ivory paint and a chunky brush, and we're just going to distress, working in one direction. And look at this cute little sign that we made with an air freshener from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so you saw me use these little cupcake picks before, and I thought this would be a really cute way just to make a really simple little banner for the tier tray. And so these little flags are like made out of paper, but they're still super cute. So I'm just going to cut the toothpicks off of all of them. And I just need a small like mini pennant banner to go across the front of my tier tray. And so I just attached them with hot glue. I didn't think I would really be able to string through them, but I just glue them right on top of the twine like that. And this is just some of that like brown and white twine. Might be Shore Living. I'm not sure. I like to try to pick up a variety, but you could do it with any twine. It's just a really simple little pennant banner. And whenever you're hanging your flags, be sure to hang like the star part to the top and to the left. That's the proper way to hang your flag. And that is how it turned out. It's super easy and super cute. And you guys know I love this ribbon. I think it looks like fishnet. It's a mesh ribbon from the Dollar Tree in tan. And I think that's going to be really cute on here as well to go with the coastal theme. So here's the tier tray you saw me build. We have our coast at the top, that metal stake decoration. I attached the flag banner to the front. And now we're going to style this first tier tray for 4th of July. So I like to use some wood blocks to try to make things taller, which is what I did with this little starfish sign in the back. I just placed one right underneath it. And then blue on one side, let's do like red and white stripes on the other. Our little seagrass house with the starfish, I just love that. And then our little star, chunky star there right in front. We've got like that star stripe combination. And then maybe like the little book stack right over here on this side. And we're already on the bottom tier. Now this is just a plank sign. I'm using this to help this pillow stand up because I really didn't have anywhere for the pillow except for the back. And it's not going to have anything to lean back against. So that's going to help it stay up. And it provided great height there at the bottom of my tier tray. And we have our little succulents and our little American flag 10 bucket, which I love. Our little land of the free sign that we made with a few starfish on there as well. And so like everything, kind of has a little bit of a coastal farmhouse vibe, especially with like the crab on this one and the lobster on the other one. And I just kind of like put the shorter items in front, the larger items in back so you can see everything. And then for a little filler, maybe some more of this mesh ribbon because it really gives you that fun like fishnet feel. I love that stuff. And I like the tan one. It's my favorite. Sometimes I use the white one as well. Maybe I'll put a piece like right over here as well, just to kind of fill up any gaps once I finish decorating this. And here is our little blue anchor. I left it with a little bit of the white showing through to kind of make it look distressed. And our little I Love USA sign with our little patriotic lobster. I think he's so cute. He's one of my favorite pieces.
And this is how it turned out. A little bit of a nautical take on a 4th of July tier tray. Really fun. A lot of those items are still available at Dollar Tree this year. Like the anchor was available, the tin and stuff like that, the air fresheners. The pillows I did not see this year with the starfish on them, but I kind of wanted to give you some ideas of things you can make with the little window decals. Make great little signs like that for tier trays. Super cute. And of course, I love using any of the beach little fairy garden items. So cute. Succulents kind of go with anything. And I love like a little book stack there for a tier tray and some fun stars and stripe DIYs with some unexpected things like the seagrass house with the starfish on there. And of course, I use lots of starfish for my coastal 4th of July decor because it's perfect for 4th of July, especially when you like this theme for your house. And I hope you enjoyed this tier tray. It is was a lot of fun to put together.